book world. I'm starting a little bit early today because I want to make sure that my audio is working. Technology did not treat me well last time, so I just wanted to give this a try first before my special guest Leslie McAllister joins me, because I definitely don't want things to go awry when she's on. So Leslie McAllister, like I said, she's going to be my special guest. She is the owner of JuJu, which is a ceremonial lifestyle store in Point Breeze. So I just a couple of minutes, she'll be on, and I'm really excited about that. If you have any questions for her, we're going to be talking about cleansing your home in different ways. We've all experienced the shortages of Clorox wipes and things like that, but this is a little bit different. And this is going to be for people who sort of want their space to be cleansed after all of this. But before Leslie joins me, I do want to just talk a little bit about real estate because it's second cup time. So get your second cup, your tea, your coffee, whatever it is. I just want to say every day I check on, what new listings are on the market and everything. And we are practicing real estate. We're putting new listings on the market. We're marketing them virtually right now. And we are going to be able to show houses soon. And when we do, there are some really, really good looking houses on the market right now. So while you have the time, browse, window shop, now's the time. Get prepared, get pre-approved, do drive-bys, figure out what you like and what you don't, because there's going to be some good stuff on the market very, very soon when we're able to physically show them to you. And until then, enjoy virtual tours, 3D walkthroughs. They're really, really helpful, and people are actually buying houses just with those. So again, like I said, it's second cup day, and I've got my second cup. Get your tea, get your coffee, whatever you choose, whatever your second cup is. And I'm going to be joined by Leslie McAllister, the owner of JuJu in Point Breeze, and so this is really exciting. I hope that you find this information useful. Hope you get a little bit of an escape and some positivity out of it. That's sort of what I'm going for here. So Leslie should be on any minute now. Put something in the chat. Let me know you're there. Put a question in if you have a question for Leslie. That would be great. And I'm going to actually put a link to her shop in the chat so that everybody can see it. And then that way, definitely visit her shop. So hopefully she'll be here soon. If you haven't seen this shop, it's at 6739 Reynolds Street in Point Breeze. And I'm going to put a link to her website. So I think Leslie's here now. So I'm going to welcome her. Leslie, hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So I've got my second cup, and
Me too.
What do you have? What do you have in your second cup today?
Just Pete's coffee.
Nice, nice. I'm a coffee drinker too, so that's good. I was hoping that you weren't going to make me feel guilty, like you had some really beautiful healing tea. I'm like, no, I need the caffeine.
Me too.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. And I love your shop. And again, Leslie's shop is JuJu, and it is at 6739 Reynolds Street in Point Breeze. And I've been in your shop a few times to purchase a cleansing kit for a client and for myself. Mine was kind of a funny story. We had a painter working in our house, and he painted the entire interior of our house. And great guy, great painter, but just one of those people that you just go, oh, it's always something. It's always something. Like, his truck broke down, or this happened, or that happened. And after he left, after he finished the job, I just felt like, I think my house and me are both exhausted from him.
Right.
And I came in and I talked to you about that, and you were really helpful. So I was thinking that there are a lot of people that now in their homes, they've had to create a home office, they've had to create a home school. They probably just need some help making their home feel more positive now and when this is over, because it's sort of an upheaval. And so I really wanted to see what ideas you have for doing that.
Oh, I love it. I think it's as timely as it could be. There's no doubt. I've brought with me today, or I have in front of me rather, a couple different ways for people to cleanse the space in their home. And I know, we're burning bundles here, and so fire safety we have to start off right away with fire safety before anything. So
Right.
you want to make sure when you're burning your bundle that you have a fire safe dish. And seriously, it can be something as simple as, this is an old vintage ashtray that I have, and I just want to make sure that embers, if they fall into the ashtray, right?
Okay.
It could be a bigger bowl that's fire safe, but you just want to stay protected in that way. And also, you want to make sure that your bundle is fully extinguished before you walk away from it or leave the house.
Okay, great.
And they will go out on their own. So I always recommend maybe, don't run it underwater. That kind of alters the energetics of the bundle, but they'll go out on their own. So just kind of leaving it in a place that's safe and watching it fully go out. So I have
Great.
to say that first.
Safety
Um,
first.
yeah, safety first in everything that you're doing. So let's talk about this one, since I have it pulled out here. It's seen better days, right? It took it around the block here, but this is lavender.
Oh,
Um, isn't that lovely? And
really nice.
a lot of this time right now is very stressful, and of course, right? We all know lavender is calming, right? It's one of the very first scents that we'll go to for relaxation and tranquility, right? I mean, even fabric softeners are scented in lavender these days, you know?
Yeah. Everything related to if you can't sleep, or, everything.
Yeah. So, the one thing that you may not know about lavender is that it also has protective qualities for the home as well. So, it's grounding. And by grounding, I mean it kind of pulls us back to earth and keeps us really connected. Sometimes I tell people, when you're running around the house and everything's falling and you keep dropping things and you're kind of all over the place, you're not grounded. You're too
Okay.
much in your headspace. So taking a moment to come back down to earth, burn something in your home that feels really great. This one too, speaking of grounding, this is a vetiver bundle. The smell, Crystal, is unbelievable. If you're familiar with the scent of vetiver,
I wish we could
I know.
smell virtually.
I mean, it is just incredible. Vetiver is I fell in love with it via my father. It's one of his most favorite. So it's very green and woodsy at the same time. So it's very centering and grounding and tremendously clearing for your home as well. Sustainably sourced. Everybody wants to go right to white sage, but white sage is a very sacred plant, and it is very much honored by First Nation, Native American folks. And if all the white people start snatching up their white sage, then they don't have it to use. And that isn't fair to their culture. So
Wow.
there's so many other great ways that we can get around using white sage, like vetiver, sustainably sourced, comes from Hawaii. Lavender, grow it in your garden, right?
It's
Very easy to come
everywhere.
by. My other favorite, and it again has seen better days, is cedar, right? A lot of people have
Ooh.
cedar or pine in their backyard. Now let's talk about cedar because it's emotionally healing. It might have been what I recommended for you. It's emotionally healing, so it clears any of that just chaotic energy, grounds and protects your sacred space, your home, your office. Now, another thing that people don't realize is that a lot of these products also have like antimicrobial, antiseptic, antibiotic qualities. So it's also really, really important if there has been a sickness in the home. It clears the air. And so it can be very beneficial too, even just after the common cold. It's great to really ionize the energy in the home.
That's great information. I had no
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing I forgot to bring with me is just a very simple bowl of salt. We all have
Mhm.
salt in all our pantries. I recommend a kosher salt, a sea salt, or a pink Himalayan salt. You might be familiar with Himalayan salt lamps, right?
Oh, right.
So a Himalayan salt lamp ionizes the negativity in a space and sort of neutralizes it and transmutes it to positivity. Bowls of salt in your home will do the same thing.
Really?
Yes. Now, don't use it once you've used it to absorb the energy in your home. You're going to want to either bury it in the earth or put it down the toilet.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
but you're not going to want to use that salt after it's been intended to soak up negative energy in your home, because then you're just ingesting it,
Right.
right?
Sure.
So another great
Hmm.
way, if people can't burn things in their apartments or in their homes, sometimes they're just adverse to doing that. You can use any kind of a cleansing spray. This is a Florida water. Florida water is a combination of bergamot, lavender, cinnamon, clove, sort of like a citrus essential oil, a lavender, and a clove essential oil. And it started back in the 1800s, and has very quickly become, for lack of a better term, people refer to it as like a spiritual water, like a cleansing water, like a holy water. But you
Sure.
can use it to spray your space. I'll just kind of like spray my field, my auric field, my energetic field, and it neutralizes and clears as well. So this is something you can have, spray in your car. Again, if you don't want to burn in your home, this is great.
Oh, wow.
Another option to cleanse your home, if you don't want to burn anything, is a bell.
Uh, that feels
Just
like
use,
yoga.
yeah, these are called tingsha's. And these were a wonderful, I received these from a client who is just an incredible sound healer. And you want to get up into the corners of your living space, because right, just like cobwebs, that's where all the negativity is going to gather,
I'm glad you mentioned that because I read that when you're doing the burning as well, is that you want to make sure that you walk around and you really get in the
Yeah.
corners.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Um, so when you do this, let's say you find your bundle and you're ready to do it, you're ready to choose your medium of choice. Um, everybody has, I'm sure there is a textbook way of doing it, but I always say what you feel is right for you and your space in your home, you're going to know that intuitively. So for me, I start by closing all the windows in the home, and I work up and back down and out.
Okay.
So, what I mean by that is I'll start at the base level of my space. So, if I have a basement in my home, I'll start there. And what I will do is I will walk in a counterclockwise direction, right? So, this is clockwise, so this would be counterclockwise.
Okay, right.
So left to right. And what that means in energetics is that this removes and banishes negative energy. So I'll start and I'll move kind of through that base space, opening doors, cupboards, getting up in the corners, and I'll make my way up the stairs to the second floor, etc., etc. Now, once I have done that and kind of, you want to contain the negative energy and then you want to release it.
Mhm.
So once I've completed, I'll open up the windows. You don't have to open up every single window in your home, but maybe a window for each room and then the front door usually. And then I kind of usher all the negativity out of the front door. Get out of here, don't come back. And then
Yep.
I go back to each room and I say a little prayer of what I want to fill that room with, positive energy, right? Just, I always say to people, it's like shampoo and condition, right? First you got to
Yeah.
cleanse, then you want to soften and seal. So once you've cleansed the area, go back in. I sometimes just use a tea light candle. I'll light it in each room and I'll say, in the kitchen, nourishing meals, merriment, good cheer, right? And you just kind of make your way throughout your home and light a candle in each space. Now you can let that candle burn for however long a tea light candle burns for. Maybe you just have time to let it burn for half hour or so. That's fine. But what's really important here is balance. So you're going to remove and then you're going to fill.
Nice, nice. Just sort of put your intention out there and actually vocalize it, not just, you know, wish that your kids would do their online schooling. Just put it out there that,
You will do it. You are doing it. You're not involving me in this.
put it out there and verbalize it. That's really nice. I think it reminds me of how all of these people say that if you start your day with your intentions or your positive intentions, you set the tone for your day. So you're setting the tone for those rooms, those spaces.
Yeah. And like anything else too, you're going to want to do it as often as you feel. I do it frequently because I do a lot of work in my home.
Mhm.
But the average person might choose to do it seasonally, 4 times a year.
That's a great idea.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a really great idea.
Yeah.
That's so nice. Any other tips in terms of either setting up these spaces? I mean, at this point, we've been doing this for weeks now, and so people are getting in the groove. But it's going to last beyond when we're all allowed out, so to speak. I think a lot of people are still going to need to really refine that home office or that home school area. So, do you have any tips in that respect on how to set up those spaces?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my favorite thing in the whole wide world are crystals.
That
So
one's incredible.
I got this one at the Denver Gem and Mineral Show, and my partner basically hauled it back in a carry-on. Yeah, it's bigger than my head. So
That's amazing.
bringing stone friends, allies into your space is really important. Bringing wonderful plants into your space is also really helpful. But I was also going to mention selenite. Selenite brings peace and tranquility to the home, and you can even like kind of clear your field with it as well.
Nice.
But putting this in the kitchen kind of clears that energy. Um, and let's see, what else do I have just right in front of me?
That
Wait,
selenite, I love that. I love how it looks. I got one of those whenever I was in your store, and I love it.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's something so special about it. Selenite comes from the Greek goddess Selene, who's the goddess of the moon, so it carries a lot of lunar energy. But it's also a great stone to use for meditation, um, to connect with loved ones that have passed on, to hold to your heart, just in
Oh,
remembrance.
nice.
So it's a really special stone, and it clears and cleanses other stones as well. For example, here's a quartz crystal, so you can kind of do this to clear and cleanse other stones, or, to clear and cleanse your jewelry or something like that. Um, and it also promotes restful sleep. So you can kind of have this by your bedside, which is also really
Oh,
great. We talked about homeschooling and having kids. I love blue kyanite. Blue kyanite rules our throat chakra. So it really is great for like teachers and students that are working on stuff,
oh.
right? So it helps to like communicate. And I don't have anything for focus, I do, it's over there. I'm not going to get up, but fluorite is really great for focus. So if you needed, to kind of maintain that focal point for your kids, fluorite, the green parts of fluorite are often called the genius stone. So it helps to really clear and focus our minds.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Wow,
I
that's
just
great.
like creating, I always say think of the elements when you're creating a sacred space. So water, some kind of a water that feels really beautiful in your home. I guess immediately thinking of like some kind of a water fountain, like right, like a little Zen fountain. Um, or like a bamboo, like kind of a bamboo plant. Are you familiar with a bamboo plant? So that
Yeah,
kind of,
definitely.
so you have like your life, you have your plant energy, but then maybe if you have it in a clear vase, you see all the water and the roots and the stones in there as well. So kind of creating your water element, your fire element with a candle, your incense, an earth element, which can definitely be our crystal friend, and an air element, which can be, just that airy openness. Again, it can be incense or your bundle that smokes. So when you start to think about the elements in your space, it's kind of that like feng shui. You could begin to create a very grounded, centered, focused space.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, so tell us a little bit about your shop right now, of course, people can't go in, unfortunately, probably, and smell all the things and feel feel the stones. I one of the things that I loved was you had a basket by the register, and you just pick out something that speaks to you, that you feel. So right now, what are you doing? Like I said, I'm going to put the link up for your shop. There it is,
Thank you.
shop-juju.com. But tell everybody what else, what you're doing.
Yep. So it's at times like these you get very resourceful. And so a lot of things that I've put on the back burner, I've had to pay attention to. I've been trying to get my online shop up and running for probably 2 years now.
Yeah, I kind of forced everybody into this, didn't it?
Mhm. Yeah. That is definitely a silver lining in this pain and chaos right now, for me. But so I got a lot. I got about, I would say about 85 to 90% of the shop is online.
Great.
I am doing local pickup for Pittsburgh folks, using code local pickup and
Okay.
a discount box at checkout. I'm doing curbside pickup. I'm going to like red light very cautionarily, slowly open. I am not interested in having anybody be at risk right now. So
That's yeah.
I'm moving very slowly with everything. I think over the next couple weeks, I'll be doing appointment only, and continuing to do maybe speeding up curbside pickup more where people can pick up
That's
almost every
nice.
day. Yeah. Doing virtual tarot readings. So we do like,
Oh, how nice.
yeah, FaceTime, or I'm also been using the WhatsApp, and that's
Yeah,
been great. People have been, a little trepidatious about it because they think, well, is it going to be the same kind of feeling? But energy doesn't understand what a phone is, right? Energy
right.
can still flow. It doesn't matter. So folks have really been
Yeah.
noticing that the virtual readings are actually maybe even better because they can do it in their pajamas and the comfort of their home.
Right,
And
I bet.
yeah, so virtual readings have been really fantastic, and it's allowed me to do readings in New Zealand and Spain and California and Oregon. So I've really expanded out, which has been fantastic.
That's amazing.
So yeah, everything's virtual, curbside pickup, online shop is stocked, items added all the time. People are able to contact me with anything. We can always do virtual FaceTime shopping as well.
Yeah.
I'm happy to walk people through any questions that they might have. And slowly opening. Now, when I do open, or do take appointments, I have like the plexiglass set up, and I think it'll be like I'm face masks, rubber gloves, and I will only be the one touching
Yeah, that's a good
things.
idea. That's a good idea. It's sad, but it's what we have to do. It's
Yeah.
what we have to do. So since I'm a real estate agent, and so my page sort of revolves around real estate, I was saying at the beginning before you jumped in, um, eventually, we are going to be able to show houses, and so much of it. There are people buying houses via virtual tour and sight unseen right now, and more power to them. I don't know if I could do it, but I'm impressed by clients that have. But there's so much of that. You just walk in and you feel like I tell people all the time, you'll walk in and say, oh yeah, this is my house.
Yeah.
And so when people are getting out there and they're looking at houses, and they buy that first house, or they buy their next house that's going to give them some more room, what would you suggest if they're buying either a new house or a used house, so to speak, to really make it their own? What would you recommend?
Yeah, so I think the very most important thing, right, is to do that cleansing to the home. But one thing we didn't talk about, which I think is really special, is doing floor washes, energetic floor washes.
Ooh.
And what this entails is mopping your floors
That's old school.
with with herbs and intention. And one that comes to mind right off the bat is using rosemary, salt, and lemon slices. Now,
Oh,
what
that
you
couldn't be
can
easier.
no, again, it's very practical. So basically, what I do is I create, get a stovetop, slice a couple lemons, just, little circles, toss them into the pot, throw in some fresh rosemary that you can get at the store, and then throw in a cup or so of salt. And I bring it all to a boil, and then I strain it and put it into a floor wash. And then I mop my floors. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cleanse your floors first, as you normally would, and
Mhm.
then it kind of seals in and creates an energetic protection to the space. It grounds it grounds it, it cleanses it, and it kind of prepares it for you. And then I think like going in and setting an intention with your new home is really important. The other thing I like to do is called 5 points. And I'll take this energetic wash, I'll dip my finger in it, and I'll go point, 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 point. I don't know if you can see my finger, but it's like if you can imagine a window or a door,
Okay.
corner, 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 center. And that
Okay.
creates 5 points of protection in your home space.
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah.
excellent. Would you do that in every room, or just when,
You would do that. Yeah, you could. Yeah. It's always, yeah, if you want to.
Yeah.
I will go into every room that has an opening, right? Every
Okay.
window, every door, and seal it. And then some people also like to put a thin layer of salt at their thresholds to keep their
Oh,
thresholds safe and protected.
okay.
And you can say a little chant or set an intention like, only those with the highest and best intention for this family may pass through this threshold.
Right. That's
And
excellent.
I
That
tell
just
you what,
take the time to really set the tone for your new home.
yeah. And then what I do too, like every time I leave my house, I'll energetically lock it down. So when I leave the door, shut it and lock it, I will kind of do that 5 points again. And I will set an intention to seal the house in light, protective light, so no
Yeah.
one can pass.
Okay. That's excellent. That's so
Yeah.
nice.
It really is about intention, Crystal.
Yeah,
Living your life intentionally.
that feeling, like I said, it sounds silly sometimes when we've got so much data, and I'm armed with all this data about these houses and all this information. But what it always comes down to, in my experience, I've been doing it 19 years, people just walk in and they see themselves there
Yeah.
and they feel it. And so, like you said, the more intention, the more positive intention that you can put into it, the better, I
Yeah,
think. So
absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
that's so nice. Well, I can't thank you enough. I appreciate you being on. I can't wait to come into your shop
I
again.
know. Thanks for thinking of me. I really
I love
appreciate
it.
it.
I'm telling you, there's plenty of information out there about how to clean your house, but I like talking about cleansing it. I think a lot of people are going to need it now more than ever. And you're a great resource. You always take so much time to really, ask about, so what are you looking for? What are you trying to accomplish? And you're so helpful. So I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. So have a positive day,
You
stay
too.
healthy, and I can't wait to see your shop again.
Thanks,
All
Crystal.
right. Thanks, Leslie.
Okay.
We'll see you.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. That's Second Cup for this
Bye.
week. Bye bye.
Bye.